Hi there, I'm Ulf Toborek. I bought a new but very old drum kit for the studio, and today we're gonna figure out if it's possible to record some punk hardcore on 50 years old drum heads. So let's start unpacking these drums. First of all, I can tell you that the brand of the drums is a Star, that apparently in 1974 or something like that changed name into Tama. This is the 22-inch kick drum. I bought the kit from an older guy in Sweden who apparently got this from his parents when he was a kid. And from what I understand, it's basically been in the cases most of the time. Here we have the floor tom, 16-inch. And a 13-inch rack tom. So this is the case for the snare drum and all other stuff that comes with the kit. So all stands and everything goes down into this suitcase, which is pretty cool. So the stands and everything are really compact and small sized, which is nice for me to have a kit at home when I'm rehearsing. Regular cymbal stands and stuff are pretty bulky and big. These are really small and neat. Obviously not as stable, so it wouldn't really fit for a drummer that hits really hard, but I'm not that experienced or confident yet, so it's not a problem for me. So let's just keep unpacking this and see what you have inside. Here we have the kick drum pedal, and it's a pro pedal, so it just has to be really good, right? And here's a really insane thing. My guess is these are the original drumsticks that came with the drum kit. The guy that I bought it from said he got the drum kit in the early 70s, and the information I found online is that this kit can be from like the late 60s or early 70s. And here we have the construction of the hi-hat and cymbal stands. There's a screw in the bottom, and you just fold down the legs and then fasten the screw to secure the standing function. I have the kit set up, and it looks pretty amazing. I mean, I'm totally baffled on how unused this is. If you check the batter heads of the toms here, there's barely a mark on them, and apparently it's the original batter heads, which is just crazy. I guess the snare head is replaced since it's a Remo head on it, and it also looks a bit more played, so I guess this gentleman was more involved in like drumming in, not sure what it's called, like drum orchestra stuff, where he's just playing the snare drum, like basically didn't use the rest of the kit. I also got some cymbals with it, the Ride and the Crash, brand called Ajax, made in England. It's a 22-inch Ride and a 20-inch Crash. Yeah, I don't have really high hopes for them, and the hi-hat is something called Super, so that has to be good. Made in Switzerland. The hi-hat barely weighs anything, so I also don't have high hopes for that one. But we'll see. I just tried it briefly at this gentleman's house, and it's tuned kind of in to play jazz or whatever with it. It's kind of old school. But we can listen. I'm gonna try to play. I'm gonna just make up a short song, play it in this tuning, and then after that I will try to tune it to fit more the styles that I usually record, like hardcore, punk, and metal. Sort of. I'm gonna see if we can retune those heads, 50 years old as they are, both the kick drum and the toms at least, and see if we can make it work for the kind of genres that I work in. Even though I think this sounds really cool, especially the kick drum. There will most definitely be use for that too in like slower style music. But for now, I will try to make it fit what I usually work on. So first here we're going to try to play a beat, and then I'm going to retune the kit and play the same beat again after we try to make it fit. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is put some dampening material in the kick drum and tune it down a bit so it doesn't ring that much. I have this really old pillow, just put that inside here. It's gonna touch both the batter head and the resonant head. Yeah, so we're gonna keep the resonance head pretty loose to don't give too much resonances and not so much ringing. And also tune down the batter head a bit. Tricky, but you can do it. And so now we have a more fast and punchy drum, maybe not as cool sounding as it was before, but it's gonna fit this music a lot better. Let's continue with the toms. I'm gonna start with the first tom here. It's really easy to take it off since it's just on this little hook. And obviously we're gonna use, to be really true, we're gonna use the drum key that came with the kit that's already hanging here on the floor. What I'm gonna try to do is keep the bottom head fairly high tuned and then drop the batter head. I usually find that's the easiest way to get the kind of sound that I like. A lot of punch and depth and not too much ringing. Okay, it looks like someone hit the resonance head more than the batter head. So I'm just tuning it up with like a quarter turn. That's fairly even. Yeah, as you hear, the batter head is pretty high tuned. I'll take it down half a turn. Maybe we can take it down a little bit, so a quarter turn more. No, that's too loose. We're gonna keep it there. And then pretty much the same for the floor tom. Actually pretty impressed with how well tuned it is, since it's just been in boxes for so long. I think we can keep it in that tuning and just take down the batter head. Sounds pretty cool. Maybe a bit too ringy. See if we can take it down more. Ah, that's too much. Too low. I'm gonna see what happens if I take up, if I bring up the resonance head a little bit. Nope. I just turned it up a quarter turn on each one, so let's take it down half so we get lower than where we started. I think that will do. Let's see what we can do with the snare. The mat here is a bit broken. This one here. I'm not gonna change that now. There's also just some regular string here. I'm not sure how well that will work in the long run, but I will leave it for now. I'm trying to tighten up the snare wires to see if I find a spot where it's not resonating as much. I'm just gonna bring up the batter head and see what happens. Or start with a quarter tone. That's not good. I think the tuning is fine, but I'm gonna do what I usually do and put a dampening ring on it. There we go. And the last thing, we're gonna change the cymbals. And to just keep working with good deals, I found this secondhand Sabian AAX stage series. The hi-hat is what it's called, accelerator. Found it for really cheap, so we're gonna try it together with this kit. These stands will probably not work with a real drummer. I don't play that hard, so they keep in place for me, but probably not for someone who is more used to playing like the more extreme styles than I am. Oh, good. I was actually worried that this hi-hat stand wouldn't be able to lift this this hi-hat. It can. Sounds okay. We're gonna try that. So let's listen again to what it sounded like before we did the tuning. So to get some context, let's throw in some guitars and bass, and first we listen to the untuned version. And then again with how it sounds after we did the tuning. So the conclusion will have to be that yes, you can record punk hardcore on 50-year-old drums with 50-year-old heads, but I would probably prefer new heads, and I will try to set something up like that for a future video, comparing these old heads with new heads and see what the difference would be. Maybe compare a couple of different styles of heads too. But anyways, so thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole video, and if you made it this far and you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. Also press the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Please leave comments if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything that you want me to think about or want me to answer or whatever. Just share anything you would like to share there, and I will try to hang around there and get back to you as soon as I can. So see you in the next one. Bye bye. Cheers.